Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Building Steps 20th Anniversary Virtual Celebration. First, I want to thank the guests for joining us and not missing out on this very special milestone for us. We have a lot to share in the next 30 minutes, and you do not want to miss the alumni toast at the end. My name is Darrell Brooks, and I am a Baltimore City student and a part of the first Building Steps alumni cohort. I grew up in Cherry Hill, and at that time, I didn't think that college was really an option for me. I was fortunate enough to have a guidance counselor suggest that I consider Building Steps. I didn't know what the program was. I didn't have an understanding of what it really meant to think about college, as it wasn't something that I had on my radar. But luckily, the Building Steps folks and my guidance counselor saw something in me, and that's what they wanted to sort of encourage to grow. And it's because of that combination of my guidance counselor and also listening to Deborah give her speech around sort of why everybody should apply to Building Steps actually sort of got me to do the actual application. Sort of what was really important about that moment for me was, if nothing else, the thing that I remember the most at that time was that she said, just do it. And I think for me at that time, I was scared, I was nervous, and I did the application anyway. And luckily for me, I was accepted into the Building Steps program, and my life has been significantly different ever since then. You might be wondering how Building Steps has such wide reach. How do we continue to have such a solid and successful track record? First, you have to know that we don't do it alone. We rely heavily on volunteers, partnerships, and philanthropy to make it all happen. In fact, right now, you can be a part of the next 20 years, and please consider making a gift at the end of tonight's celebration. It takes time, collaboration, and resources to propel a Baltimore City student like myself to achieve something better. But Building Steps is not just about getting into college, it's about helping us stay in college as well. And more importantly, graduating college and going on to our first careers and starting our life really as professionals. Programming spans 2 years in high school and at least 4 years in college, and actually more than that. Building Steps would step back, maybe 4 to 6 years and say, oh, we've done enough, but that's actually not true. The team is in it for the long haul. From campus visits and help with the annual financial aid applications to provide resources and connections to internships that provide critical skills development for students all across Baltimore City. Building Steps make sure that we get through college prepared for the next step, a second degree, or starting a career. And like myself, I did both. I have multiple degrees, and I now serve as a research associate at the Bloomberg School of Public Health at Johns Hopkins University, where I did my first internship through the Building Steps program. Now, when I think about it, that's commitment. Speaking of commitments, tonight I would like to highlight 3 incredible stakeholders that exemplify unconditional loyalty to Building Steps. Stuart Kaplow is a founding board member and remains active today. He provides a breadth of legal and financial counsel and volunteers with the students. He is a trusted and dependable go-to guy for Deborah and the Building Steps team. Since my days at Building Steps, Stuart remains committed to Baltimore City students and our ultimate success. Like Building Steps, Towson University is jointly committed to Baltimore City and college completion. Towson University is a founding partner and has been represented on the board since 2000. In addition to office space, Towson provides Building Steps critical programming space. They host a junior seminar as well as a summer intern. Significantly, 12 of our students are undergrads of Towson, and we have over 42 alumni. Mile One Auto Group is a leader in corporate partnership. This year alone, they topped $100,000 in corporate giving. In addition to philanthropic support, their team helps our students foster professional communication skills by volunteering and engaging with them during speed networking and career events. Mile One hired a Building Steps student right out of college and helped her launch her career in accounting. They are all about creating pathways for student success. To Stewart, Towson University, and Mile One Automotive, we can't thank you enough. Building Steps could not do this work without you. Immense foresight and fierce dedication are just a few words that we've used to describe our next speaker. In fact, without him, Building Steps would not even exist. Matthew Weinberg, our resident visionary, launched Building Steps in Washington, D.C. in 1995 with the simple yet profound idea of leveling the playing field for underserved and underrepresented students who wanted to pursue science and technology careers. He relocated the organization to Baltimore in 2000, which is where I first met him. My first meeting with Matthew was a little odd, to say the least. He asked me about myself, and at that time, 16, awkward, I really didn't know much about who I really wanted to be or who I was. But what he really asked me in that moment was to really think about what motivated me. And in that moment, I rattled off some things that I liked or enjoyed to do. But in reality, what he really was trying to get at was what was it in me that was going to keep me committed to my own success? And when I asked him about sort of why he went through a particular way of asking me some questions about myself, he just reminded me was that literally that I would have to be committed to this more than he was, and that he would do his part if I would do mine. And so Matthew is the CEO of the Weinberg Group. He's a businessman, entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. As a chair emeritus, he is Deborah's kitchen cabinet, continuing to drive the organization forward. It is my pleasure to introduce our founder, Matthew Weinberg.
When was the last time you made a prediction and got it right? It's hard to make them, especially about the future, quipped Yogi Berra. After all, the head of a digital equipment company said there's no place for a computer in the home. And a bank once told Henry Ford, the horse is here to stay. In 1969, the U.S. Surgeon General told Congress there will never be an infectious disease outbreak in the United States. 20 years ago, I could never have predicted the impact Building Steps would have. Let me take you back to 2000, when the world didn't end with Y2K. I wanted my firm to have a more diverse workforce. I knew the more varied opinions we had, the better the outcome for our clients. Trouble was, I could never find people who didn't look like me. Well, except for the beard. So, like anybody in the science field, we had to rethink our formula if we wanted to make a breakthrough. We started an internship program intended to develop future employees. That kernel of an idea grew into all of us being here, celebrating the 20th anniversary of Building Steps. Sometimes moving forward means it's not always a straight line. Things happen that you neither expect nor intend. If you can't roll with these curves, achieving your goals is almost impossible. That high school internship became a multi-year, multifaceted program with hundreds of graduates. Who would have thought we would serve students not only in high school, but in their college years as well? The enormity of what Building Steps has become is awe-inspiring, and it's still evolving. And I couldn't be prouder of the people who work here. Deborah's extraordinary. Her vision and passion guide our work, and our countless volunteers put their hearts and souls into counseling the students. We had the courage to dare, and that's what I wish for all of our students, those still in the program, those who have graduated and begun their lives. You too have helped define our goals, daring us to reimagine. I know from your experience with Building Steps, you will have the mettle to challenge yourselves. Find your own path. Figure out that new formula and what will work for you. I keep reading that this moment is historical, and it is, but change can happen at any time. Take the skills you've learned and the passion you have and put them to use. The future is an infinite succession of present moments. Thank you for sharing this moment with us. Thank you from the moment you believed Building Steps could change lives, and thank you to the students who, through sheer tenacity and will, are creating a dynamic future for us all. As I noted, it's hard to predict the future. The last few weeks, we've seen things we wish we'd never had to see. We can all create a world our children deserve to live in. Building Steps is more critical than ever. Our students are neither silent nor indifferent, and they are not alone. We've all dreamt big. Now we all need to act big. I will be forever grateful for what Building Steps has achieved. Thank you for being part of the 20 years of Building Steps, and I look forward to seeing what we can do together.
Good evening. I'm Richard Edlow, Chair of the Board of Building Steps, and welcome to the 20th anniversary of one of the most successful programs propelling Baltimore City youth to outstanding, productive achievements. I am honored to have been involved with Building Steps for well over a decade. As a product of Baltimore City school system, I have a special emotional attachment to the city's high school students. The success of hundreds of lives that have been so positively impacted would not have been possible without the vision, commitment, selflessness, and determination of our founder, Matthew Weinberg. He recognized the dramatic disparity in talent in his field, and as the scientist that he is, found and founded a remarkable solution. Thus, the birth of Building Steps back in 2000. With all of Baltimore's struggles over the past 20 years, Building Steps has never wavered in its support of students yearning to better their lives, their families, and our community. So please enjoy this video highlighting our students' experiences, how Building Steps works, and how it's working more intently and creatively today than ever before.
I love that video. I love the music, the images, the message, and I really love that it was made by Tamar Smith, a Building Steps alum. Tamar was in the 9th cohort of Building Steps and is today a production assistant with the Oxford Group. It has been a real treat to work with him on this project. I'm Deborah Hedelman, CEO of Building Steps. Thank you for joining us this evening. There are more than 200 of you joining us as guests to celebrate our 20th anniversary. Every day, Building Steps is committed to diversity, inclusion, and respect. Working with Baltimore City students, we are painfully aware of racial injustice. We are doubling down on our actions to promote and support social justice. We're very proud of the work we've done in the last 20 years, and we are going to work even harder in the next 20. So, talking about 20 years, I've known Darrell Brooks for 20 years. I met him when he was a student at Southern High School, which no longer exists. I have been on Darrell's journey from Baltimore to San Francisco to Boston and back to Baltimore. I am so thankful and pleased that he's with us tonight. I'm only sorry that I don't get to see him in person. As you've heard, Building Steps was developed with a very clear focus and mission. Equip our city's brightest students with the tools to propel them to college and career success. In 20 years, we've had 2 bouts of mission creep. The first one came after year 2. After year 2, I called Matthew and I said, we did it. We got all the kids into college. And now we need to stick with them to make sure they get out. 4 years later, I called Matthew again and I said, they did it. They're graduating. And now we need to help them with the backpack to briefcase transition. Matthew and the board leadership have had this singular focus on student outcomes. It is this focus that has made our students so remarkably successful. But more on that in 1 minute. There's the behind the scenes that makes Building Steps all work. While it is not rocket science, in the words of Matthew Weinberg, it is complex and it is complicated. And we have an amazing team of 6 that makes it work day in and day out. Our professionals stick with our students from the moment they're accepted into the programming until I don't know when, because we're still with our students 20 years later. Our team creates programming that is innovative, it's engaging, it is interactive. Even in today's world of Zoom, it is interactive. They are keeping our students on track every day. So please, give our team an at-home round of applause because it's so very, very well deserved. Let's go back to talking about our students because I could talk about our students all night long. 20 years ago, we started with 16 students from 3 high schools. Today, we accepted, or our most recent cohort, 95 students from 15 high schools. That is quite a multiplier effect. We are still accepting and working with our city's brightest students who attend our city's most challenged high schools, but we're doing it on a much grander scale. Each year, we work with roughly 500 students. That breaks down to 200 high schoolers, 200 college students, and about 100 young professionals. The staff-to-student ratio is 1:83, and you must think that is not possible to work under those kinds of conditions. But what makes it possible and what makes it so remarkably successful are our volunteers. Our volunteers are integral to our students' success. So thank you as well to them. Because our students are so successful, we're always thinking about how do we serve more? How do we do more? So this fall, we will accept a new cohort of 20 10th graders. So what the fall will look like is 100 juniors following our current curriculum, with the addition of 20 10th graders involved in STEM exposure with the added twist of academic tutoring. I look forward to sharing the results with you. The other way to serve more students is to venture beyond the city limits, beyond Baltimore. So who knows, maybe in our next milestone celebration, it will be a multi-city event. So, for my toast, I toast all who propel Baltimore's children to college and career success, particularly those who propel our students to college and career success, I must admit. I also toast you at home for sharing the evening with us and for helping us to celebrate these 20 years. Most importantly, I'd like to toast our students and our alumni. There would be no Building Steps without them. They put their trust in us. We have a shared commitment to their success, and because of them, it all works. So, cheers.
Hello, my name is Theophilus Ogege, and I'm an internal medicine physician practicing outside of Phoenix, Arizona. I was part of the Building Steps inaugural class 20 years ago at Paul Laurence Dunbar Senior High School in Baltimore, Maryland. I've always had ambitious plans, but never the roadmap to get there, and that's where Building Steps came in. It gave me the freedom to dream boldly about my future and the tools with which to lay out concrete plans to pursue those dreams. More specifically, it provided me with the technological resources to augment my education and introduced me to several career environments in efforts to see what my life could be like and how to get there. I truly believe Building Steps has been integral as part of my success and has shaped me into the person I am today. So, here's a toast to many, many more years of Building Steps, providing avenues for dreamers to dream and helping create paths to help them get there.
My name is Dion Avery, and I first became a part of Building Steps 20 years ago when I was 16 years old. At that time, I attended Paul Laurence Dunbar High School in Baltimore City. I was a junior, and I didn't quite understand the importance of Building Steps or the impact that it would have on my life. I'm now a Spanish teacher, entering my 14th year of teaching. I graduated from Towson University with bachelor's degrees in both English and Spanish. I later went on to Johns Hopkins University to order my Master of Arts in Teaching. In 2012, I returned to Towson University in order to earn a Certificate of Advanced Studies in School Administration. I was able to study in the Dominican Republic and Mexico in order to learn the Spanish language while I was in college. And also, I'm now in the process of creating my own online business that offers tutoring services to children and adults who want to learn Spanish and other topics of study. Building Steps has shown me that there are many different career fields to choose from. Building Steps taught me that I can use my knowledge along with what I've learned about technology and science to create my own career path that's best for me, my family, and that allows me to be able to give back to my community. I will forever remember the companies that I visited, as well as the people and friends that I've met through Building Steps. I like to offer a toast to all of the supporters of Building Steps, as well as a toast to the past and present students of Building Steps. Thank you to Deborah and the entire board that works relentlessly to continue to help students in the Baltimore area. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and cheers.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ayolua Kinton Joel Oluwafemi. I recently graduated from Mergenthaler Vocational Technical High School, otherwise known as Mervo, and I'll be attending the University of Maryland in the fall with a major in biological sciences with a pre-med track. I'll be going to the University of Maryland with a full ride. I was granted a full ride by the IAP scholarship, and that's that. My connection to Building Steps is that I'm a Building Steps student. I joined my sophomore year of high school, and they keep telling me I'll never leave. So, what Building Steps means to me. Building Steps have meant a lot to me during these past few years because of how accessible they've been to me. I've been able to contact them at a moment's notice. I never got any complaints from anyone. and they've always seemed happy to just help me and push me to continue throughout my journey. They've always been a really strong support system for me, and I really appreciate them for that. I would like to propose a toast to my writing advisor, Miss Williams. It's actually Miss Hadaway's sister. She helped me so much when I was writing my college essay, and she's really helped me improve my writing style. And I just really appreciate her for that. I would email her really late, and she would still respond to me like almost immediately. Like it was crazy. And I know she has her own thing going on with her family, but she was always there for me. Thank you so much, Building Steps, Miss Hadaway, Miss Williams, the recording crew, and everybody that's here.
Hey, this is Jim Clements, president of Clemson University, and I just want to give a big shout out to Building Steps. Congratulations on 20 great years of making a difference in people's lives. I was with Deborah right when this program started, and I was working at Towson University. I love everything that this program stands for and everything it does. So to all of the brilliant students who have gone through Building Steps and all of the incredible students who will go through Building Steps, to Deborah for her great leadership, and to all of the partners for making a difference. Keep it up. Congratulations and cheers to you all.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jay Perman. I'm the Chancellor of the University System of Maryland. I am so privileged to be among friends, supporters, graduates, those that lead Building Steps. What a great achievement. 20 years of getting promising students into colleges and universities, 80% of them becoming graduates of those institutions. And I'm very prideful about the fact that half of the students that have graduated from Building Steps have come to University System of Maryland institutions. You do us proud. I'm so happy for all of you. Here's to another great 20 years of Building Steps.
I want to thank you all so much for joining us and helping us celebrate our 20th anniversary celebration. What Building Steps does for us, for me particularly, and for the students across Baltimore, is really provide an opportunity for us to excel by eliminating the barriers that prevent us from success. When I think about my experience, everything that Building Steps did and continues to do for me and students like me across the city should be replicated across the country on an every scale. Because the core of this is that the belief that all students have what it takes, even students like myself who grew up in some really hard circumstances. One of the most profound pieces of the Building Step experience was this going to college tours. Having experience to be on a college campus was actually one of the most magical things that have ever happened to me. And because of that, I want to be able to offer that to other college students or students who are interested in college. With that, I'd invite us to consider these few things. That for $100, you could send a student like myself who grew up in Cherry Hill in Baltimore City on a college tour. That might not seem like a lot, but at the end of the day, that college tour experience was a part of changing my life. For $250, you can feed a student lunch and snacks for 1 year. And for $500, you can sponsor a Young Professional Council career event. Those events are critical because they help us as young professionals continue to network beyond our college experience. And at $1,000, you can sponsor financial aid workshops for parents. Financial aid is a really difficult and complicated process. So the fact that Building Steps continues to support parents and students through it really means that we can really get as many students into college as possible. And lastly, with $2,500, you can sponsor a junior seminar and a STEM experience. Those experiences really provide an opportunity for us to go into new places in the STEM field and learn about what does it really take to succeed and thrive as a professional in that place. And so what I want to say is thank you again. please consider giving. You can check us out on our website and know that the work and the resources and the volunteering and the hours of tireless dedication literally changed lives, because it changed mine. And so with that, I want to say thank you again, and cheers to Building Steps, and happy 20th anniversary celebration.